Just want to start with your view on the market today. Pretty flat day?
Ingrid, it certainly was a pretty flat day, and we really did struggle to hold up any gains really right from the very beginning. Of course, we received those negative leads from the US and European markets overnight, but I do think investors were sitting tight, awaiting a lot of the Chinese data that came out at around midday, although it was nice to see that we did close in green territory, up about 0.15% in the end, and we did seem to be able to maintain above that 5,500 level. Of course, in terms of that China data that came through, most of it was in fact pretty positive, so it was quite surprising that we didn't kind of see a bit more of a turnaround in the market into positive territory. We saw that GDP data coming ahead of most analysts' expectations. As a result, we saw that materials sector being the best performer on the market today. It closed up about 0.85%. Really, that was being driven higher by a lot of those iron ore miners, but being dragged lower by some of the gold stocks after we did see gold falling off about 1% overnight. Of course, we also saw industrial production coming through better than expected. However, retail sales were a little lower than expected, but we did see that consumer discretionary area still maintaining some gains, up about 0.2%. The worst performers of particular note were those financials. We did see quite a strong performance from some of the US banks that reported, but unfortunately, as a result of that banking inquiry yesterday, we really did continue to see a lot of our major banks coming under pressure, but overall a pretty positive day in the end.
Yeah, bring in Leanne now on Boart Longyear, one of the worst performers today. What did you make of that one? A bit of an update on a strategic review.
That's right, Ingrid. It certainly was an interesting one today. Right out of the blocks this morning, it was in negative territory, and of course we did see it going into trading halt. The stock was down about 28%. We then did see it coming back online this afternoon, and we just continued to see those falls, and it did close down about 35% in the end. We do know that this stock really has been coming under quite a lot of pressure. We know that this mining services space in particular has been facing a lot of difficult market conditions really since the GFC. Of course, in February we saw the company announcing this strategic review, but I think there has been a lot of speculation around lately that in fact they haven't been able to come to a conclusion in terms of recapitalising their balance sheet and improving their debts, which currently sit at about $600 million. So I think there's a bit of speculation around in terms of the next step that they in fact are headed towards is administration or potentially bankruptcy. We know back in 2013 the company reported losses of about $620 million. They cut thousands of jobs, and they even closed some of their manufacturing plants. So it really, you know, back in sort of before 2007, it really did ride a lot of the mining investment boom, but since 2007 it reached a high of $2.70, and it's really dropped back all the way down to about 9 cents where it's currently trading at the moment. So very disappointing, and I think today really reflects a lot of nervousness from investors in terms of this strategic review and potentially another negative announcement in terms of bankruptcy or administration in the company.
Yes.